He was originally a billionaire playboy, but a shipwreck left him stranded on a deserted island. After 5 years of surviving in the wilderness, he turned himself into a savage. His greatest belief was to survive and return to human society. Today, he finally saw hope. He quickly climbed to the highest point, took out a prepared bow and arrow, ignited it by rubbing it against a rock, and with precise aim, shot it out. The burning flames successfully caught the attention of fishermen. When they arrived at the island, the man fell to his knees, begging them to take him away. Thus, he left the hellish island. Soon after, news of Queen's return spread across the city, but people didn't know what changes his return would bring. At the hospital, undergoing a full checkup, the large scars on his body and 12 unhealed fractures shocked the doctors. His mother, learning everything, entered the room, tearfully embracing him and quietly expressing years of longing. The next day, as he recalled childhood memories with his father, his friend Tommy got the news and rushed over. After warm greetings, they enjoyed a lavish welcome banquet. Seeing his mother's intimacy with old Wang made Queen uneasy. Though he'd undergone 5 years of transformation, this scene reminded him of his late father. Noticing her son's displeasure, his mother held old Wang's hand and told him they were married, hoping for his approval. Queen, learning the truth, didn't respond but picked up a fruit and left. The next day, he pulled a weathered wooden box from under the bed, taking out a notebook and a cloth bag. He went to his sister's room, giving her a stone carved with runes, telling her it would keep her safe. Then, with Tommy, he drove a luxury car for a ride. To Tommy's surprise, Queen asked to be taken to his ex-girlfriend. 5 years ago, as a playboy, he'd gone sailing with his father and invited a stunning woman, his girlfriend Laura's sister. An indescribable incident followed, and in that accident, her sister tragically died at sea. He wanted to apologize for his past mistakes, but Laura, unwilling to forgive the man who caused her sister's death, refused. Helpless, they left. At that moment, a van sped up, and 2 masked men with guns shot tranquilizers, knocking them out. When he woke, he was in an abandoned factory. The kidnappers demanded to know if his father had told him anything before dying. Seeing Queen play dumb, they jabbed him with a taser. Unaware, they provoked the wrong man. Glancing at the unconscious Tommy, Queen broke free in an instant. Before they could react, he grabbed the taser, knocked one out, and used another as a shield. The remaining kidnapper fled, and Queen, ensuring Tommy's safety, chased after. Agile and swift, he dodged their weapons with snake-like movements, capturing the last one alive. To conceal his identity, he killed all witnesses. Later, during the police investigation, Queen lied, claiming a masked man saved him. The sheriff, Laura's father, showed clear hostility toward the man who betrayed his elder daughter and caused the younger's death. Unable to extract useful clues, he let it go. Queen then took out the notebook. After the kidnapping, he realized he had to act fast. To ensure his safety, his mother hired a bodyguard, a former soldier from Afghanistan. Though used to working alone, Queen reluctantly agreed to ease her worries. As the bodyguard tried to talk, Queen vanished. The bodyguard slammed the brakes, but Queen had slipped away. He arrived at his family's long-abandoned factory, effortlessly scaling a 3-meter fence. The superhero began transforming the factory into a secret base, complete with high-end equipment and training gear. The sudden kidnapping filled him with urgency. He had to fulfill his father's wishes quickly. He took a bow and arrow from the box, forged arrowheads and tossed out tennis balls. With a steady gaze and swift moves, he operated like flowing water, preparing everything. He pulled out a hood from the box, ready to start his purge. His first target was a bald man, a beast in human clothing, guilty of theft, murder, and arson. Suddenly, the overhead lights exploded. As they turned to look, a bodyguard was killed instantly. The bald man hid in a car, but after screams outside, the window shattered and he was yanked out. Queen aimed an arrow at his head, warning him to transfer $40 million to a designated account by 10 p.m. the next day, or face worse consequences. The response was an arrow piercing glass. When the bald man turned, Queen was gone. Ignoring the warning, the bald man reported it to the police the next morning, handing over evidence and demanding protection. That night, Tommy threw a welcome back party for Queen. Opposite the bald man's company, Unexpectedly, Laura appeared. She wasn't unwilling to forgive, but wanted to know the truth about her sister's death, still harboring feelings for Queen. His phone rang. The bald man wasn't cooperating. Queen went to deal with him, but was stopped by the wary bodyguard. As the bodyguard opened the door, Queen swiftly knocked him out with a chokehold. Meanwhile, the bald man, protected by police and his men, believed the masked man couldn't breach his defenses. Then, an arrow pierced the wall, plunging the floor into darkness. Queen emerged from the elevator, taking down men in seconds before vanishing. His elusive tactics unnerved the bald man and his crew. A figure burst through the door, and the bodyguards fired wildly, only to realize they'd shot their own. Queen took them out with an arrow and a swift move. As another bodyguard charged, they fought hand to hand. The bald man escaped, alerting the waiting police. When they arrived, bodies littered the ground. From the shadows, Queen shot an arrow and crashed through a window, sliding toward the opposite building. When the sheriff reached the window, he saw only a fleeting shadow. The next day, 40 million vanished from the bald man's account without a trace. Enraged, he found no reason, unaware that Queen's misfired arrow carried a hacking program that drained his account, returning money to his victims. That day, Queen, newly restored to his legal identity, ran into a man suing Laura. Named Martin, he appeared a righteous businessman, but secretly smuggled goods with the Triad, even killing to keep it hidden. He was another target in Queen's notebook. As Martin berated his lawyer to fix his lawsuit, danger loomed. The base's lights went out, followed by chaos. When Martin came to, his men were down, and he was strung up at the docks. Queen demanded he confess his murders in court to deliver justice, slashing his cheek as a warning before vanishing into the night. But the next day, Martin ignored the warning, refused police inquiries, and even hired Triad members to eliminate Laura, the case's lead. Meanwhile, as Queen changed clothes, his sister saw his scars and scolded him in front of their father before storming off. Unable to explain, Queen went to Laura's house. As they chatted, he sensed danger, pulling her into the bedroom. The assassins were prepared, trapping them. The bodyguard Tattoo took down 2 assassins, but was overpowered by a white-haired woman. At the critical moment, Queen threw a knife, scaring her off. This raised the bodyguard's suspicions, but Queen brushed it off as luck. Though skeptical, the bodyguard didn't press. Queen returned to his base, geared up to make Martin pay. Martin, packing to flee, lost contact with his lookout and tried to escape, but was caught by Queen. Arrows pinned him to a crate, and under pressure, Martin confessed everything. Suddenly, the white-haired Triad woman appeared behind Queen, and a fierce fight broke out. Her skills matched his. As police arrived, both wanting to avoid capture, they fled separately. Unexpectedly, Queen shot the sheriff's gun from his hand, pinning it to a container. When the sheriff recovered, Queen was gone, but an arrow held a recorder with Martin's confession. After the fight, Queen realized his identity might soon be exposed. The next day, at his father's memorial, he deliberately caused a scene, making everyone believe he was still the reckless playboy. Unbeknownst to him, that night, his mother visited a man, and their